I think when you start hiring HR, that's the moment to be worried. Okay. And
we always joke about that with our companies. Where we're like, "Who's HR? We don't got it."
Yeah. When HR starts running the decisioning, I think that's the time when you're like, "Hey, why am I letting an HR person come in here and build the company or structure the company when we didn't have an HR department when it got here? And what are we protecting against? Like, I don't need an HR department. What do I need an HR department for?
Yeah.
To do what? To build my culture? No,
You'll build the culture.
I know what the culture is. Okay. The more people you bring in, they start doing things like, "Hey, we should support everybody being vaccinated." Well, no, we're not going to support that. Okay, like I don't have anything to do with that. Like we're a business, dude. It's not my business what people do with their medical
not a
stuff.
doctor.
And they just do like. I have not seen a lot of HR people produce anything, and I'm not trying to bash the HR people, but when the HR department's running everything, when they come up with crazy shit like they did at Dynegy at the very end, this is what happens when they all get big. This is 1998 or so, and I'm 15 years into this business, sitting in a room with four commercial people and 2 HR. And they start coming up with the idea that we can only hire MBAs, okay? Like, we need to go next level. We need to up our game, MBAs. And then they did something really fucking crazy. And then they're going to pick the schools that are exclusive to the MBA program. I'm like, okay, so we're in Houston, so you're going to pick Rice University. Why? Why are you picking Rice? I mean, just because of our location, or is it the best people? See, to me, that is a massive inconsistency. It's like, okay, we got here without any MBAs. I'm not even arguing about hiring the MBAs. I do agree with upgrading, but why are you selecting 1 or 2 schools, man? I just couldn't help myself. I looked at Chuck, I looked at Steve, I looked at the other commercial guy that had been with me, and another guy that was the MBA. And I said, look, there's 1 MBA in this room. There's 2 HR people, and none of these 3 people had anything to do with building this company. Who built the company? Me? You? None of us could get an MBA program, dude. We were rogue players on the edge, said fuck off to everything. Literally, we could never make it in a fucking big company because we didn't have the culture.
What was your office culture like back then?
It was
I would
awesome,
love to
dude.
see
We'd
it.
fist fight, man. We'd go in the toilets and look at who had the biggest things. Dude, we were so immature, man. Okay, but we were a fucking football team.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to be nice to each other. My boss, we've never had a drink together. Like he didn't invite me to his home. We weren't like that.
Yeah.
But on the battlefield, he knew. Dude, I'll call Gary when I'm in trouble. I'm calling Gary. If we have a new project, I'm calling Gary. He didn't have to I didn't need to be loved by him.
You have to be his friend.
Dude,
So
it's a military operation.
Yeah.
I don't ask the general to come dinner with me.
It's like when you remove all the rules and the politics from a company, you can actually be more efficient and operate.
You can do
Creative.
shit, man.
Yeah.
Totally.
I feel like a lot of the corporate meetings now are like meetings about rules about.
Well, it's like you were saying at the start of the interview, you don't respond to authority well when it's just manufactured without good reasoning.
Yeah. Like, why are we here? What are we talking about?
They can't even tell you why.
Well, let's talk about upgrading our people. Okay, maybe we just need to pay people better. Like, maybe we don't need to go to the MBA program. Maybe you do need to go to the MBA program. But we weren't making those decisions. HR just keeps pounding on you over it. The diversification thing. Like, I'm in a boardroom. I'm in a executive retreat one day in the Woodlands, and there's this black guy who, of course, head of HR. Had to be a black guy. I mean, I'm cool, but we're sitting in a room. There's 2 women have just left with $7 million payoffs. There are 20 guys in the room, all males, 1 black guy, 1 guy from Louisiana. The rest of everybody else is pretty sane. And this guy stands up and he's like, where are all the women? And where are the black people? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I just couldn't help myself. I saw everybody around the room. I'm like, this is why I hate coming to these bloody meetings. I said, Milton. His name was Milton. Never forget him. And I'm like, Milton, bro, where are the diversity? Fucking 2 of them just left with $14 million, dude. Like, that was enough for them, okay? And these women, like, once they get done, they want to have a baby, they blow. I'm still here, dude. I haven't sold a fucking share of stock, and I don't really care if they're orange, purple, green, male, female, transvestite. I could care fucking less if they're producers. Why are you focused on how many males and females or black people are in this room? Your job is to go hire some great people.
Yeah.
On period, dude, that hang. And I like these 2 women, but they weren't in it for the journey that I was in. Like, so, like, oh, wow, I didn't know you were just going to come and hit me and smack out, right? Like, so it's just such an unfair, and those women had the right to do that. I'm not saying that. But I thought it was interesting. All the guys stayed. Every one of the men. I was the only guy that didn't have kids. Every one of the men had kids, and they stayed. But 2 out of the 2 women blew. So they have the full right to do that. But I, quite frankly, if I could hire a woman and she said she's going to hang for 4 years, and I could hire a guy, hey, I'm going to hang till you get out, I'll take the guy. Right? Because they left us in a bind, dude. They left, like, 2 big fucking players. Now, had I been those women, I would have I've never seen the glass ceiling. I've never felt the glass ceiling. I've never put a glass ceiling in. And in fact, I would love to be a woman. Like, if I was a woman, I would have made 3 times the amount of money.
You would have negotiated.
And I would have never, ever spread my legs for anybody. I would have made 3 or 4 times the amount of money, dude. Like, if I'm a woman, I think I have a gift. Like, I come in with power in a society of men that are just like ballless, man. I mean, like, really, you watch a woman negotiate with a guy, and I look at it and go, wow, this is such a different fucking negotiation. It's amazing. Guys are extremely easy to manage.
Yeah.
Extremely easy.
Why do you think
we
that
talked
is, though?
about that.
I know.
I think every man I've ever met has mommy issues. And until you deal with them, you ain't dealt with them.
With mommy issues,
Mommy
you said?
issues, man. Every
Is that
man I've
something you
ever met.
experienced?
Oh, for sure, man. But I probably dealt with mine. And I was in a conversation with a lawyer and once, and I said, hey, just remember, every man has issues with women because of mom. They're undealt with mommy issues. And that it creates a dynamic that I notice in business that is, I would love to hire 2 or 3 women that really understood their power. My ex, like she could have done this so much better had she not been so transactional. Extremely, extremely transactional person, meaning that the relationship part doesn't really matter to her. It's all that matters to me. Like, you'll never see me ask you for money because I'm more interested in, hey, this one of these guys, maybe 8 years from now, there'll be a deal. He'll go, hey, I remember this guy. I know this guy's real. So for me, that's much better. I'm willing to wait a long time for that quality event instead of worrying about, I got to go bang out a transaction. I got to make some money on this deal. I got to do an ROI on this meeting. If I turn every meeting into a ROI equation,
You make the wrong decisions.
Everything's a commodity. I'm not even treating anybody like a human being at that point.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip, check out the full interview here. And if you want to see more clips from this episode, check it out right here.